very good to have you with us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
How are we going to stop this culture of non-payment?
A very difficult one, but I think we're on the right track.
How?
Look, firstly, it has been a very difficult task to determine who owes you how much. And I think we have crossed that path.
Okay.
National Treasury has been of assistance, a great deal. A whopping 40 billion is owed by municipalities to the water board and the Eskom. 14 to the overall country's water boards, and about 25 billion owed to Eskom by municipalities. And that's what we have been hearing. But I want us to talk today about who owes municipalities and how much. We are owed 165 billion. 118 by residents, households.
165 billion.
Yes, owed to municipalities. Government on its own owes municipalities across the country 10 billion. And is one of the people who could be able to pay. Their
Okay,
budget,
let's talk about the value chain. Where does it start? Where are the cracks?
The value chain is simple and straightforward. Eskom is a service provider to municipalities, not in all the areas. In other areas, municipalities are licensed to provide electricity themselves. Water boards are service provider to a municipality. Some are water service authorities, but the chain of South Africa is your bulk infrastructure of water comes from water and sanitation. It has contracted it through boards. So municipality will receive bulk water, clean it, and take it to a household or a business or a government entity. 30 days, invoice, pay me. What happens? Invoice, no payment. And municipalities are expected to service the water board or to Eskom because they've already received the service. They must pay for it.
But also many municipalities are, because of their own lack of experience or aptitude or whatever's going on there as far as tenders are concerned, they're also not paying what they owe.
Look, this has nothing to do with the tender. I'm giving you electricity of 50 kilowatts.
No, I'm talking about the corruption within municipalities is also preventing that from happening.
So you are mixing CAPEX and OPEX. As if OPEX must not happen because CAPEX, there's something wrong with it.
Yeah,
and I think those are
yet
different
another
things.
Dangerous chink in this,
well, yes,
this chain.
It is. But the crux of the matter is this has nothing to do with that part of the problem. The problem is created when you receive a service and you don't want to pay for it.
Okay, how are you going to get people to say? How are you going to get people to pay? What do we need to do?
We need to enforce our policy. Our policy says we must terminate services after we've notified you for 14 days. Government, we're locked into a IGR, which is your intergovernmental relations systems. Pay for your bills. You are allowed to withdraw there once you have exhausted that will. And as Salga was saying, we have been sitting there negotiating with government, negotiating with business chambers. They are not paying. In fact, some business chambers are even saying we would want to begin to pay for our services ourselves. And we're saying interact with municipalities, come to an agreement, and let's pay for the services.
Okay, but if you see that municipalities, if you see that PRASA, which owes 250 million, if you see these big sort of entities not paying, why should the individual pay? We know why they should, but it's a message that, hey, the big boys don't have to pay. Why should
Look, we don't sit with that man, and that is what our request is to Treasury. When you allege corruption, what do you quickly do as National Treasury? You top slice a municipality. 200 million, we can't account for it, we can't find it, we're not going to add on top of that until you clear your explanation. Why don't you do that with Transnet? Because it gets its money from government. Oh, you are owing Polokwane municipality, we're going to top slice it, take the money to Polokwane municipality because it must provide services.
I know, I mean, the solutions are so obvious in this country, but there's also lots of other factors at play. How do we get around those factors to get everybody up that chain paying?
That's the point. We are saying municipalities must now send 14 days notices and terminate services.
You don't pay, no services.
You don't pay, no services. That's what we do to any other person. So why should we stay with government at the intergovernmental relations and not get our bill paid, but we not get services also being rendered? It will come as crude, but we have taken a responsible decision as well. Public Works owes on behalf of education, for example, schools, health, hospitals. We're not going to come out and go and close Charlotte Maxeke indiscriminately and kill people, but we're going to go to their head offices. So Public Works said, health head office will be switched off, education head office will be switched off if they owe a school in Katlehong. So education and learning will continue, but those who manage and
When are you going to start
administrate,
doing this?
14 days, they must issue out notices. I've started in Polokwane, by the way, as a president, to lead by example. I've cut 5 departments 2 weeks ago. I'm cutting 5 next week.
Okay.
And so
Woman
far,
on a mission.
out of
Very
that,
good.
I
We'll
was
talk to you
owed
again.
114 million. I've received around 39 million. So it is a recipe. Cut,
you very much.
pay for us so that we'll pay others as well.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.